Coming up on MCTV this week, learn about the impact of local archaeological investigations and the difference between two Muslim groups. This week starts now. Hello and welcome to MCTV this week. For Alistair Ramsey, I'm Tori Philbin. Community members from Warren, Mercer, and surrounding counties spent their Saturday afternoon at Security Savings Bank learning about archaeological history and how it impacts them today. The Edwards River Earth Science Club hosted 3 archaeologists from the Illinois State Archaeological Survey of Prairie Research to give a discussion about archaeological investigations undertaken for the Illinois Department of Transportation. The presentation began by explaining the cultural time periods ranging from Paleo 11,000 BC to historic 1850 AD. The archaeologists discussed sites in Warren and Mercer County and discussed their local findings. From artifacts found, archaeologists can determine date of living, aspects of culture, and even the diets of people living thousands of years ago. Following the presentation, coordinator and Illinois native David Nolan encouraged community members to bring their own archaeological findings to participate in the event. Nolan looked at personal collections, dated them, and gave context for the possible uses of each item.
Taxpayer-driven type of activities often does not get back to the taxpayers. And so today we wanted to come and share some of the information that we've learned about primarily Native American prehistory in the area.
To learn more about the Illinois State Archaeological Survey, please visit www.isas.illinois.edu.
Last Wednesday's Great Decisions lecture discussed the differences between Sunni and Shia Muslims. Professor Farhat Haq informed students and residents of Monmouth about the Muslim world. Haq said that she herself is a Shia and that people should try to learn about the one place they don't know in greater depth. Coming from a Muslim background, she was interested in informing others about the differences between Shias and Sunnis, and that Muslims are people too.
That there's just so much stereotypes about Muslims right now, because so much of our headlines, news is full of bad things happening, and people are saying we're doing it on the name of Islam. But these are really extremists. They don't stand for the rest of the Muslim world.
Great Decision lectures are held every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. in CSB, room 276.
Last Thursday, Umoja challenged students to learn about their Black history knowledge. Umoja brought students together to play Jeopardy in honor of their African American history. The 3 categories that were covered were sports, African American TV hosts, and remarkable events.
Umoja in Swahili stands for unity, and as the African American or predominant African American organization, we try to unite the African American community on campus as well as just the common community on campus. The purpose of this event was to educate the people who come and participate on African American history.
Umoja is selling crush cans for Valentine's this week in the cafe.
Improv group Guys and Ties entertained Monmouth students last Friday. Big G, Nate Curlott, and Jeff DeLeon. The 3 Guys and Ties performance consisted of segments like bad jokes and some charade-type games with much audience interaction. The Quad Cities-based improv troupe agreed that the unplanned outcomes of every show are what make it fun, that every show is something new because of the different types of audience.
I've been doing this for 15 years. My favorite types of moments are like when we get something we've never gotten before, for 3 things, or it's just really nice to be able to struggle and succeed, and it feels great to be a part of a collective unit that thinks alike. There are moments during a show where all 3 of us will say something, and it'll be on the exact same mind wave, and that's just because we work together and we have really learned to think like each other.
For more info on Guys and Ties, please visit their website, guysandties.net.
Taking a look at some events on campus this week. Continue to be on the lookout this week as different organizations are selling essentials for Valentine's Day, including carnations, crush cans, and Valentine cards. You can purchase these in the main lobby of Stockdale as well as a lower level. Tonight, ASAP hosts this after-hours Valentine's Day event in Scotland Yard beginning at 8. And spend your Friday night before the holiday at the pre-Valentine's Day dance hosted by Intercultural Life. That will be in the Highlander Room at 8.
Coming up in sports, the women's basketball team puts their 6-game home win streak in the Midwest Conference on the line. We'll have the highlights next. The Monmouth College Fighting Scots men's golf team and men's tennis team take on new leadership this offseason. Assistant men's basketball coach Steve Schweer will be taking over as the new men's golf coach in the spring. The Scots returned some key pieces from last year and have been putting in a lot of work this offseason.
One of the things that I've been most impressed about them with is their willingness to try things to improve. We just put together a brand new strength program for them that they haven't been doing in the past, and kind of integrating that a little bit with some different conditioning type things. They like to kind of mix it up. They've done some CrossFit, they've done some yoga, they do some track work, but then also some golf specific stuff in the weight room, which I think will help them throughout the course of the year.
Current women's tennis coach Brian Jordan will now take over the reins as the new men's tennis coach, which he believes will be fairly easy to balance the two head positions with solid focus on conditioning and strengthening the tennis doubles play. From former player at MC to running the women's program to taking over the men's position, Jordan says it's something he's always wanted.
Yeah, definitely. Coach Brown and I have been talking about it. What we thought would be the right position and the right time for me to get into being a head men's coach. And he's been a very good mentor for me, letting me help him get stuff ready and plan trips and stuff like that to kind of get my feet wet, get into some of the planning aspect and not just the on-court coaching.
Men's tennis will return to play at Buena Vista University on Saturday, and the men's golf program will travel to Tucson, Arizona for their spring break starting March 8th. In other coaching news, after 22 years, Coach Roger Sander hangs up his spikes. Sander comes into his 22nd year as the winningest coach in Monmouth's baseball program. Sander, a graduate of Monmouth College in 1978, has spent 30 years with MC as head baseball coach and equipment manager.
There was a lot of different variables that made the decision come into play, but the bottom line was I've had some minor health issues that don't allow me to do the things I used to be able to do, and it was just the right time because I have a good nucleus of upperclassmen, but I have a good nucleus of younger classmen, so I'm not leaving the cupboard bare when I leave, but when is a good time to get out? There never really is. I mean, I'll miss it, I know I will, but it just seemed like this was the time.
While Sanders steps down of the men's head baseball position, he will remain as equipment manager for all Monmouth College athletics. The women's JV squad tipped off against Illinois Central College last Saturday at Glennie Gymnasium. Here is Caitlin Cole going into the basket against Lady Cougar defenders. And then on this offensive rebound, Mariah Cole grabs the board and gets a 2-point bucket to help the Lady Scots. In the second half, Tanner Gary, she hits a long jumper at the top of the key, but it wasn't enough. The Lady Scots fall to ICC 103-46.
I definitely think we've gotten better. We've grown a lot closer as a team. We've developed so many different friendships together. It's been a blast to play JV with all these girls, and definitely been awesome to see the growth and the experience and all that stuff, and in practice and in games and all that stuff. So.
Last Wednesday, the women's varsity squad took on Grinnell as they played host to them last Wednesday. The Scots led by as many as 19 points in the second half, but Grinnell rallied late. Grinnell's Leah Greenberg wide open for 3, and that cut the lead to 8. Then Alicia Hirsch, she knocked down the 3. Grinnell down 1 with 30 seconds to go, and now 3 seconds to go. Hirsch with a free throw to win, and she cannot make it. Houston gets the rebound and tries to put up a last-second shot. It is just short, so we get free basketball at Grinnell, tied at 67. In overtime, the Scots jump ahead early, and it came down to free throws. The Scots were clutch from the line in OT. Junior Katie Houston was a perfect 8 for 8 in overtime, giving the Scots a big 85-76 win.
We battled through it all 45 minutes. We had a pretty large lead that we gave away, but I got to give credit to the girls in that they didn't give up. And you know, I don't know if it's just the fact that we have that mindset on Glennie Gymnasium or what it is, but it works for me. A win is a win, no matter how we get it.
After the women took down Grinnell, it was the men's turn to try to crack the system. The Scots took the first meeting between these two teams earlier in the season, and on the first possession for the Scots, Andrew Matheson gets open on the baseline. Look out below. The slam cuts the lead to 1 early, but then the system takes over. Tyler Parker hits a 3 on the wing, and then later Matt Jasadis drains a corner 3, and the Scots now down 50-32. Reed Goodbread gets loose, and he will slam it home. Scots still fighting in this one. Nick Marima drives the lane, and he hits a layup over the defense as Scots trail at the half 60-42. Second half, more of the same for the Scots. Grinnell pouring it on from the 3. Akeka Phillips, he would hit another 3 in the corner, and Grinnell hit 25 threes in this one. Reed Goodbread racing down on the other end on the next possession. He finishes nicely here with a nice pull-up jumper. Not enough, though. Grinnell runs over the Scots 108-82. Both the men's and the women's basketball teams will travel to Beloit on Saturday. There's your look at sports. Here are your scores for this week.
This week, in our continued celebration of 10 years of MCTV, we hear from another 2008 alum, Zach Edmonds.
Oh, I'm sorry. Willy Wonka here, in case you didn't know me, my candy bar. Ever since Zach Edmonds invited me to Monmouth College to shoot a music video, I've been traveling around shooting more videos. Just wanted to wish a special happy anniversary to Monmouth College TV and a special shout out to Chris Goebel for putting everything together all throughout the years.
That'll do it for MCTV this week. I'm David Beidel.
I'm Alistair Ramsey. Don't forget to tune in next week for another installment of MCTV.
And I'm Tori Philbin. You can also visit us on the web at monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.